Alright, so I was in a shop called Game Cycle the other day, picking up some Game Boy games. I went a little overboard. I mainly wanted Ninja Turtles 2. And they also had this Game Boy in there. It was original DMG in fairly good shape, other than some scratches on the screen cover. The reason it's so cheap is because it says pixel lines. So first thing I asked was, are they horizontal lines or are they vertical lines? One thing I've learned with modding Game Boys over the years is that vertical lines are relatively easy to fix, but horizontal lines, on the other hand, those are very, very hard to fix. So I asked, and he said they were vertical lines. And sure enough, I tested it. He actually let me borrow some batteries to test it. They were vertical lines, so for $25, I picked it up. Alright, so we're going to open this bad boy up. First things we're going to do is take the batteries out and remove the 6 tri-wing screws from the back. Again, these original Game Boys have sort of 2 circuit boards, one in the front half, one in the back half, and they're held together by a ribbon cable, so you've got to sort of swing this thing open. And once you've got that open, there's about 9 screws holding this front circuit board down, and that's where the screen is. I'm going to take out all the buttons. It needs a cleaning, and actually it turned out that the left on the D-pad really didn't pop up very well, so I ended up needing a new rubber, the membrane for the D-pad, which luckily I had an extra one. I've got a few broken Game Boys over the years. I've held on to the extra parts, and they came in handy for a few reasons, as we'll see at the end of this video. So I'm going to crank the contrast, basically to make this easier to see while I do the work, and fire up the soldering iron. I'm going to start at a lower temperature, but we'll see how that goes. So this is pretty straightforward. At the bottom of the screen, there's a little rubber, sort of just keeps pressure on the ribbon. It's a little rubber strip, basically, just glued to the glass, or glued to the ribbon, I should say. So it should just peel off, and then we can start. Just take the soldering iron, basically rub it where the ribbon meets the glass. This ribbon is a very thick plastic, and it can take a surprising amount of heat, at least where it's near the glass. You got to be really careful not to hit the ribbon, down a little bit further where it's got that little chip sort of integrated into the ribbon. Be very careful around there, but where the ribbon meets the glass, you can put a surprising amount of heat into this. I did have to turn the heat up a little bit to get this to work. Once I got the heat up a little bit, you can see it really started to make a difference pretty quick, especially on the left side. The left side came up pretty quickly. The right side here needed a little more work. Had to, keep rubbing it. I didn't want to keep the iron still for too long in one spot. Again, this can take a lot of heat, but you still want to be careful. And as you can see, eventually those pops back up. It's kind of satisfying to watch, especially as you pull the iron away, because the lines will appear and then disappear again, and then you pull the iron away, and it's, it gives it time to cool down, and you can almost watch it as it's cooling down as the lines come back again. Alright, so one final test before we put it back together. It looks like it's working fine. I'm going to put that rubber strip back in there, but the double-sided tape wasn't sticky anymore, so I ended up just gluing the sides where it meets the plastic. Just on the 2 outer edges, basically. And here's, like I said, the extra parts came in handy. I had an extra screen protector. I think when I bought some replacement cases for one of those other Game Boys that I modded, it came with a screen protector, but I ended up buying a glass one, so I had this extra just plain plastic screen protector lying around, which I almost forgot I had. So yeah, we'll pop that on there. And after that, she's in really good shape. Very good condition. Slightly yellowing, but nowhere near as bad as a lot of them I've seen. This one's in pretty good condition. And for $25 Canadian, I basically paid half of what it's worth. So there you go.